Hi guys, hello, happy Saturday. Let me move my chair up. I hope everyone's had a great day. I hope it's the start of a good weekend. And if you're not new, welcome back. If you are new, welcome to the channel, welcome to the party. Let's have some fun. Today, I'm excited to be in front of this camera because the movie we're going to be talking about is one that flew way under the radar when it came out. I mean, there's not a lot of clips you can find. I don't see people talking about it. It's really like a fever dream that this movie happened. But I assure you, this movie is very real and not very good, if I'm being honest. And I am, of course, talking about Stan Lee's The Condor. It's a Marvel animated film that came out in 2007, and it was a part of a line of straight-to-DVD movies that Stan Lee wrote, and I believe he also produced. I could be wrong about the producer credit. But Marvel has never blown me away with their animated movies. I stress animated movies because their TV stuff is a different ballgame. That's something different. But their movies, most of them they don't do it for me in the same way that DC does, you know? So, unfortunately, this is one of those cases. I have a history with The Condor. I have it on DVD, and I used to watch it a lot when I was a kid. And I used to think it was the shit. Now, mind you, I probably shouldn't have been watching it then, but it is what it is. But I realized when I started to look at it again as I got older, I found myself enjoying it less and less and less. And then I rewatched it Thursday in preparation for this video, and I couldn't believe how upset I was at this movie. Like, I had to pause it and do mini rants. That's how mad I was at this film. The decisions that were made.
When this thing is over, Tony Valdez is gonna be one flat tortilla.
Someone should have been in the writer's room with Stan Lee, because this was just not it. But we're gonna get into it. Okay? We're gonna start with our characters because that encompasses my major gripes with this movie. We'll split it down the middle, go from protagonists to antagonists, right? So in terms of our protagonists, we have about 5 people, right? We've got Tony Valdez / the Condor. He's our main guy. We have Sammi, who is Tony's longtime friend and an extension of the family because, you know, she's known him and his parents for so long. We have Z-Man, who is Tony's skateboarding rival, who ends up helping him out. We have Dogg, I believe that's his name, who is Tony's physical therapist. And we have Tony's parents. I looped them in the one because they're barely in the film. They're just there to move the plot forward, really. So let's start with Tony Valdez, because he's the worst of the bunch, in my opinion. I don't know what they were thinking with him. It's hard to call him a hero because of the way that he's characterized, because of the way that he's a straight up asshole from the beginning of the film to the end of the film. And you have characters like Z-Man who call him out on that, right? But there's no growth. No growth. They squeeze in a little bit, maybe 5 minutes before the movie's over. I'm like, are you kidding me? We've spent an hour with this guy and he's been unlikable for at least 80% of it. He blows people off. He treats the people who care about him like garbage. And you want me, as an audience member, to root for him as a hero. You want me to root for him, period. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know how they thought that was going to go. But it's not cute. And then the voice acting just put a cherry on top because all of his line delivery is so one note.
The body heals only after the mind heals.
What the hell is that? Sushi wisdom?
It's like he just doesn't care. And I don't know if that was purposeful or not, but that's what I got. And it annoyed me throughout the whole film. Literally, he blows off Sammi, who, by the way, is the reason that he is the Condor. She is the reason that he can walk again after his accident. She is the sole reason. But he blows her off every chance he gets. He turns her away, ignores her, treats her like garbage for a woman he's known for 2 days. The woman I'm speaking of is one of our antagonists, who ends up dating Tony, you know, as a means to get in close with him and whatnot. There's literally a scene after the accident where she is trying to console him and give him a solution to his paralysis, but Tony says, no, get out. Then 30 seconds later, she turns around to go back to the room, and his then girlfriend Valeria is sitting by his side, and he's nice and sweet and, oh, you're just what I needed. Really? Really? And then, so there's so many instances in this film where he just completely allows a stranger to disrespect Sammi and the rest of his family. And I just, there's another scene where they're at the parents' funeral. He's at his parents' funeral. Sammi is opening up to him about her relationship with them, and, you know, it's an emotional moment because they're gone now and she misses them. And so it's interrupted by Valeria coming in and calling the funeral a party. A party. And Tony just sits there and says nothing. He just says, oh, wow, okay. And completely blows off Sammi again and leaves with Valeria after she just disrespected your parents' funeral. Like, how are we supposed to root for someone like that? Where is your moral compass? Does it lie on your penis? Like, I just don't understand. He's so frustrating. And then he becomes a hero, and it's completely unearned. Completely. But let's move on from Tony, because he's a mess. So let's talk about Sammi, because she's one of my favorite characters in the film, who just isn't given the credit that she deserves, nor the respect. Almost the whole movie. I mean, she is the sole reason that shit happens in this film. Like, the way the plot moves forward, a good part of it is because of Sammi and her smarts and her inventions. She made Tony's helmet. She made Tony's skateboard. She made Tony's boots that make it so Tony can walk again. She made the Condor suit. And she made the antidote that saved the zombies at the end of the film. But did she ever get credit for any of those things? No. Instead, she was taken for granted, taken advantage of. It was ridiculous. And it sucks because she was never allowed to develop outside of being a researcher and, you know, her stuff with the nanotech and then having feelings for Tony. She was never allowed to develop outside of that. And when she had a chance to, it was shut down immediately. Because in the midst of the film, they put her with Z-Man, right? And I thought they were a cute couple because at least Z-Man really liked her for who she was, you know? He acknowledged her, he respected her, and appreciated her. So I thought they were really cute. But at the end of the film, they break up for no reason. For no reason. I shit you not. Like, they're just not a thing anymore. So her and Tony can be in a relationship, even though Tony hasn't paid Sammi any attention the entire film. Outside of one scene where they almost kissed. it sucks. And outside of the relationship stuff, I just wish we would have had an opportunity to see her day-to-day life in the research lab, see her hobbies, interests, like something. just a little bit of something for her character. But alas, she deserved better. That's really all I can say. Same with Z-Man. Let's go to Z-Man. Z-Man was Tony's rival, and he was kind of fun, a little stereotypical, but he added a lot of flavor to the film, and I like the voice actor and what he did with him. I can't really say much on Z-Man. I really liked him, but he didn't get much development. He didn't get much development. So next we have Dogg, who was the physical therapist. He wasn't given much to do. He was a very influential factor in Tony wanting to learn how to walk again. And he also saved Sammi towards the end of the film when the house was put on fire. So outside of that, he's pretty cool. He was chill. It kind of gave me like stereotypical Hawaiian. That's what it was giving. But otherwise he was fine. So who's next? The parents. I said what I need to say on the parents. So that's pretty much it on the protagonists. As far as our antagonists go, it consists of 3 people. We have Rueben, who is Tony's cousin. He's kind of the most inconsequential of the 3. We have Valeria / Taipan, who I mentioned a little bit earlier. And we have Nigel, who was a business partner with Tony's parents at Valdez. My main gripe with these villains, specifically Valeria and Nigel, there's no clear motivation as to why they're doing what they're doing. What is driving them throughout this film? No idea. No idea. And we'll get back to that. Nigel is the evil white guy. That's about as much nuance as you're going to get with him. Literally, as soon as he steps on screen, you know he's evil. You just know. And it's really kind of funny. Like, the first time we meet him and he's talking to Tony's parents, the way he addresses them is with such smugness. You just know his intentions aren't pure.
George, Maria, I had the hardest time tracking you 2 down.
Like, it's literally like, how does it go? It's like, George, Maria. and you just know. And then they have a scene at Tony's parents' funeral where they cut to him smiling at their caskets. It's just, how more on the nose can you get? I wish we would have had more subtlety with him, but it is what it is. Taipan, I was disappointed upon rewatching. I was very disappointed in Taipan and how she was characterized and just shown, because she was really just a sex symbol from beginning to end. We never really got to explore her as Taipan as much as we did her as Valeria, because Valeria is like, her alter ego, right? And it would have been nice if we delved into her as Taipan more, maybe delved into her background, how she came to be Taipan, what is the connection, like all of that should have been explained, and we got nothing. Outside of the end of the film, where you put in a random scene of her being healed by her grandfather and some other guy, because she falls down a burning building at the end of the movie. And then we cut to this scene. And it's like, oh, because her grandfather has a robe and it has the same symbol that Taipan wore on her suit. And it's like, oh, so this is a familial thing. Wish we would have dived into that a little bit. But no, they were more focused on her being a sex symbol. So it just sucks. The female characters in this film are not developed well at all. And then we have Rueben, who, I don't know, he was a lot. Literally, so his thing was he's pretty much envious of Tony. He can't skate as well as Tony. He doesn't get the babes. He's not as brave. And all of that builds up in 2 instances. And I swear the way that these 2 instances happen, you wouldn't think that he and Tony are family. The first time is when he unscrews Tony's skateboard wheels, right? Not too long before the competition. So of course it causes Tony to lose. And you're like, why did this happen? Because the scene prior, they were cool. They were cool. And so there's no explanation as to why he did that. The second time around, he's seduced by Valeria to literally burn Tony's house down. Literally burn his house down. All because Tony wouldn't help him out financially to get under the hooks of a gang that he was involved with since the beginning of the film. Tony essentially was like, look, you need to handle this problem on your own. You need to deal with this. And apparently an appropriate response to that is to burn someone's house down. Like, I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. So, all in all, my main gripe with the villains is that their motivations throughout the movie are unclear. It's never explained why Nigel decided to manipulate nanotechnology and the Valdez research to create these superhuman zombies. It's never explained. The only thing that we get is that he wants to sell them to terrorists in the middle of the film. Why? I don't know. It's never presented to us that this is a lucrative market. So, huh? And then it's like, why would you want to sell this to someone else? What is the payout? We don't know. And on Taipan's end, why is she doing this? Why is she working with Nigel? Literally, at the end of the film, she stabs Nigel in the back and says, well, I'm going to keep this tech for myself now. Why didn't you do this earlier in the film? You're way more powerful than Nigel. You could have killed him at any point in time. Second of all, why are you so interested in having this nanotech at your disposal? Never explained. Maybe then we could have dived into her familial background and we could have surmised that she's doing this for someone higher up. Like, all of this could have been included in the film and wasn't. And they're just dumb overall with the way that they handle things throughout the movie. I don't want this video to be forever long, me trying to explain it, but I'll give you one example. So, after the accident with Tony's parents that Taipan was responsible for, they lure Tony to the accident site. And for some reason, they decide not to kill him. Even though Tony is going to inherit the company, right? This is the same company that you're doing illegal business out of, Nigel. And for some reason, you don't think to just axe Tony off so that there's no one in your way, right? No, you keep him alive, and then Valeria goes out of her way to make sure that he's nursed back to health, which just doesn't make any sense. And on another thing, we find out towards the end of the film that these nanobots only work with the Valdez DNA, right? Which is why all the test subjects can't handle the superhuman abilities for an extended period of time. It's too much stress on the body, and they just don't have the right sequence of DNA, right? Now, the villains never figured this out. They never figured this out, which to me is insane because, like I said, Nigel was a business partner. He was a business partner. You mean to tell me you had access to critical aspects of the Valdez research, but you never figured out that it only works with Valdez DNA? That would have saved you a lot of time and a lot of test subjects. Like, it's stuff like that that makes these villains idiots. I talked about the plot a little bit, and it's kind of generic. But my real issue is with the pacing. The pacing is just awful in this movie. Everything in this film takes place in the span of 1 month. 1 month. 1 month. And you can tell because everything just feels so rushed and unearned. Like I mentioned earlier, the Condor now being a superhero and the public loving him, where did this come from? We get a small montage of him saving people. Where did this come from? It's just, all in all, this film is really something to behold. And I really recommend you guys watch it. I know I just kind of shat on it for like 20 minutes, but I do recommend you guys watch. I'm not going to be watching this movie for quite a while. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say on the Condor. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching, of course. I will be back next weekend, and we're going to be talking about Killmonger. Look out for that. That'll be like a short little video. So we're going to talk about Killmonger, and then after that, I'm going to rewatch Mosaic and give my thoughts on that. So other than that, that's all I've got for you guys today. Feel free to comment. Otherwise, check you guys later. Bye.